Assalamualaikum and good morning. Today my team and I would like to present an ethical incident from my nursing career. The incident is related to the duty-based ethic. First thing first, I would like to explain about what is duty-based ethic. Duty-based ethic are ethics that are concerned with what people do and not with the consequence of their action. For example, do the right thing. Don't do it because it's wrong. Under this ethic, you cannot justify an action by showing that it produced a good consequence, which is why it is sometimes called non-consequentialist. Duty-based ethics are observed with what people are talking about when they refer to the principle of duty. It is the ethic that teach that some acts are right or wrong because of the sort thing of they are, and people have duty to act accordingly regardless of the good or bad consequence that may be produced. Some kinds of action are wrong or right in themselves, regardless of the consequence. Duty-based ethics live in a universal of moral rules such as it is wrong to kill innocent people, it is wrong to steal, it is wrong to tell lies, and it is right to keep promise. People who follow the duty-based ethic should do the right thing, even if that produces more harm than doing the wrong thing. For example, the philosopher Kant thought that it would be wrong to tell a lie in order to save a friend. So it shows that duty-based ethic is ethic that only concerned with the action of the people and not the consequence. With that, I thank you.
This ethical incident occurred about 10 years ago and begin with the patient who is involved in accident. During that time, the patient was semi-conscious and need the blood transfusion. The condition of the patient was he was unable to make the decision. Okay. The nurse that involved on that time has explained the procedure and asked for the parent patient to sign the consent for the blood transfusion. But unfortunately, the parent patient didn't want to sign it because it was contradicting with their own belief. So after a few times asking the sign from the patient parent, the nurse was made decision to continue the blood transfusion, although she didn't get the consent from the parent. After she made the blood transfusion for that patient, finally the patient was stable and continue stable after an operation. And then the nurse was very happy and grateful, but at the same time she felt guilty on breaching her work regulation.
So, hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Ashikin binti Hari Anwar. Okay, I will tell about the actors that involved in the incident. So, the first one is the nurse. Okay, the nurse who is breach the rules of workplace just to save the patient life because the parents of the patient refused to sign the consent of blood transfusion. The nurse also followed the doctor's order to continue the blood transfusion rather than the consent from the parent of the patient. Okay, next is the patient. The next actor is the patient, which is he had a car accident, which is he has been semi-conscious and very pale. So he had lost a lot of blood. That's why the blood transfusion is needed for him. Okay. Furthermore, another actor of that involved in this incident is the doctor. The doctor who is ordered to the nurse, which he want the blood transfusion of the patient still continue rather than the consent from the parents of the patient. Um, and the next actor that involved in this incident is the parent of the patient. Okay, the parent of the patient, of course, they refused to sign the consent for the blood transfusion of their son, which they have their own belief that the blood transfusion is something wrong with their belief. And last but not least, the administration of the hospital. Okay, the administration of the hospital blame the nurse, which the nurse is not supposed to be do that blood transfusion without the consent of the parents of the patient. So the administration of the hospital give the warning letter to the nurse because the nurse did the blood transfusion without the consent. That's all.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to Sir Ramlan. So I will continue these presentations on the ethical implications based on the incidents. Okay, so the first implications is the nurse has made the decisions without consent of the patient's family. So actually, the nurse have believed that she has do the right things, in order to save the patient's life. Okay, she has transfused about 3 units of blood to the patients without their family consent at all. Okay, so this actions has shown that the nurse actually has breached the regulations and the rules because she did not follow the hospital's procedure in order to transfer the blood. Okay, so this action also has shown that she has abandoned the duty-based ethics in performing her duty as a nurse. Alright, so this is the importance of duty-based ethics because it's provide the certainty to us to performing our duty. Alright. Okay, next, the second implications that we can see from these incidents is disrespects other people religions belief. Okay, so actually the main reasons why the family refuse to blood transfusions because of their family religions belief. Okay, so when the nurse transfuse the blood without the consent of the family, it actually shows an unethical behavior of her because she actually disrespects this family religious belief. Okay, so she actually did not emphasize the human being value, and her act shows that she think that the family religion's belief actually just a simple thing, and it's actually want to shows that the religious belief cannot save their sons at all. Okay, the last implications that we can see from these incidents is did not use the skill to act ethically. Okay, actually the nurse should have skills to convince the patient's family or parents that blood transfusing is needed in order to save their son who is in the critical conditions. Okay, it is ethical duty as a nurse to do in order to balance them in performing the duty according to the regulation or to the procedure, and balance it with their responsibility as a nurse and as a human being. Okay, so when she follow the rules and regulations of the hospital, it showed that she has act accordingly to the procedure, which is the by duty based ethics. Alright, and when she convinced the patient's family, it actually shows that she have done the true responsibility as a nurse and as a human in order to save the patients. Alright, so thank you, that's all.
So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shakira binti Alusi. Okay, so I will conclude about an ethical incident from the nursing career. So, in conclusion, the ethical incident that faced by the nurse was act in a wrong obligation, which is she breached the regulation and standard operating procedure of the hospital. So, the incident cases happen when she doing a blood transfusion without the consent of the parents patient, and she feeling dilemma whether she is doing a good or bad decision in doing a blood transfusion as to save the patient from the incident. So based on the theory of the ontological Kant, Kant is not care about the consequences of the action of the nurses, but she cares about how the nurses handle his obligation by follow the standard operating procedure or known as SOP in that hospital. So the act of the nurses was wrong, based on the ethical decision that made by her, and this is so this can conclude that duty-based ethics is important in our life and our work, as the nurses have to follow all the policies, regulation, and procedures that have been ready by the management, by the hospital management. Thank you.